Level 1. The Beach. DiCaprio followed up Titanic, the biggest movie in the world, by choosing to star in a messy adaptation of a backpacker novel that nobody asked for. The Beach is what happens when a massive star thinks that they can will a mediocre script into greatness through sheer charisma. Spoiler, they can't. DiCaprio plays an American tourist searching for a secret island paradise in Thailand, and the whole thing plays out like someone's gap year story that should have stayed at the hostel bar. The film tries to be a dark commentary on paradise corruption and tourism destroying authenticity, but it ends up being a boring slog through pretty scenery with characters nobody cares about. DiCaprio sports bleach blonde hair that makes him look like a surfer who lost his way to a Smash Mouth concert. The pacing drags, the tone shifts widely between beach vacation and psychological thriller without committing to either, and the whole thing feels like a project chosen to prove DiCaprio was a serious actor after Titanic. Director Danny Boyle tried to inject his visual style into a story that fundamentally doesn't work. The result is a beautifully shot film about absolutely nothing interesting. The Beach was supposed to be DiCaprio's ticket to indie credibility, and instead, it became the movie people forget exists until someone mentions it and everyone goes, yeah, oh yeah, that happened. This is the worst Leonardo DiCaprio movie that actually got a wide release. Proof that even megastars can't save terrible material. Level 2. J. Edgar. Clint Eastwood directed a biopic about J. Edgar Hoover, and somehow made one of the most powerful figures in American history completely boring. DiCaprio committed to playing Hoover across 5 decades, which meant spending hours in aging makeup that looks like melted wax by the final act. The prosthetics are so bad they become distracting, turning every scene with old Hoover into unintentional comedy where you're focused on the makeup instead of the performance. The film plods through Hoover's life without any narrative momentum or perspective. It doesn't know if Hoover is a villain, a tragic figure, or a complicated man worthy of sympathy. So it tries to be all three and ends up being none. The romance subplot with Clyde Tolson is handled so timidly that it feels like the film is afraid of its own implications. DiCaprio tries his best with what he's given, but even he can't make watching someone organize files and abuse power for 2 hours entertaining. J. Edgar is the kind of prestige biopic that exists solely for Oscar consideration. Serious subject, respected director, makeup transformations. It checks all the boxes while forgetting to be an actual compelling movie. The fact that DiCaprio still didn't win an Oscar for this despite the heavy prosthetics and historical figure portrayal tells you everything about how the Academy received it. J. Edgar is 2 hours and 17 minutes of "this should be interesting" that never actually becomes interesting. Level 3. Gangs of New York. Martin Scorsese's historical epic reunited him with DiCaprio for the first time, and the result is a beautiful mess. Gangs of New York has incredible production design, committed performances, and ambition dripping from every frame. It also has a meandering plot, uneven pacing, and the creative decision to let Cameron Diaz attempt an Irish accent that sounds like she's doing a YouTube parody. DiCaprio plays Amsterdam Valen, seeking revenge against Bill the Butcher, played by Daniel Day-Lewis, who chews every piece of scenery within a 5-mile radius. The problem is Day-Lewis is so magnetic and theatrical that DiCaprio disappears whenever they share the screen. It's not that DiCaprio is bad, he's fine, but he's playing subtle and human next to someone playing a cartoon villain at maximum intensity. The power imbalance makes the central conflict feel lopsided. The film tries to be a sprawling epic about the birth of New York, class warfare, immigrant struggles, and personal revenge simultaneously. It succeeds at being visually stunning and thematically ambitious while failing at being consistently engaging. Gangs of New York is the kind of movie you respect more than you enjoy, acknowledge as important, while never feeling compelled to rewatch it. It's Scorsese and DiCaprio finding each other, but not yet understanding how to work together effectively. Before we hit level 4, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're about to meet the DiCaprio performances that actually justify his superstar status. Level 4. Catch Me If You Can. Spielberg directed DiCaprio in this based on a true story about Frank Abagnale Jr., a teenage con artist who successfully impersonated a pilot, doctor, and lawyer while evading the FBI. The film is light, fun, stylish, and showcases DiCaprio's charm in ways his more serious roles don't allow. This is DiCaprio playing someone who succeeds through charisma and quick thinking, which maps perfectly into his actual skills as a performer. The cat and mouse game between DiCaprio's Frank and Tom Hanks' FBI agent Carl Hanratty provides the narrative backbone. Their relationship develops from adversarial to almost paternal, giving the film emotional weight beyond just the con artistry. DiCaprio balances the character's cockiness with underlining vulnerability. Frank is running cons because his family fell apart and he's desperately trying to reconstruct something stable through deception. Catch Me If You Can is pure entertainment, a mid-career reminder that DiCaprio could do crowd-pleasing movies without sacrificing his credibility. It's not trying to be profound or win Oscars, it's trying to be a stylish, well-acted caper film, and it succeeds completely. The film moves quickly, looks great, and never overstays its welcome. This is DiCaprio choosing a fun project and delivering exactly what it needs. Level 5. Shutter Island. Scorsese and DiCaprio reunited for a psychological thriller set in a mental institution for the criminally insane. DiCaprio plays Teddy Daniels, a US Marshal investigating a disappearance while battling his own deteriorating mental state. The film operates as both a twisty mystery and a character study about grief, trauma, and how the mind protects itself from unbearable truth. The atmosphere is thick with unsettling throughout. Scorsese builds dread through cinematography, sound design, and performances that keep you uncertain about what's real. DiCaprio anchors the film with a performance that works on multiple levels, depending on whether you're watching for the first time or revisiting with the knowledge of the ending. That twist recontextualizes everything, and DiCaprio's performance holds up under that scrutiny. Shutter Island showcases DiCaprio's ability to carry a film that lives or dies on his performance. The entire narrative depends on believing his character's perspective, while the film plants seed of doubt throughout. It's a tight, focused thriller that demonstrates the Scorsese-DiCaprio partnership had fully matured into something special. Level 6. The Wolf of Wall Street. DiCaprio plays Jordan Belfort, a stockbroker who defrauds investors out of millions while living a lifestyle of absurd excess. The film is 3 hours of depravity, dark comedy, and Scorsese examining American capitalism through the lens of someone who gamed the system and paid minimal consequences. DiCaprio commits completely to the role's physical comedy, drug-fueled speeches, and charismatic sociopathy. The Quaalude scene alone is legendary. DiCaprio crawling to his car while completely unable to control his body is physical comedy executed at the highest level, but the performance goes deeper than just the memorable moments. DiCaprio makes Belfort charming enough that you understand how he convinced people to follow him, while never letting you forget he's fundamentally a con artist destroying lives for profit. The Wolf of Wall Street is Scorsese and DiCaprio at their most audacious, creating a film that refuses to moralize while depicting deeply immoral behavior. It's funny, excessive, and uncomfortable in equal measure. DiCaprio's performance is fearless, willing to make Belfort pathetic and powerful sometimes within the same scene. This is A-list movie star work that doesn't protect the star's image. Level 7. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? DiCaprio was 19 when he played Arnie Grape, a teenager with developmental disabilities. This is the performance that announced DiCaprio as a serious actor before Titanic made him a superstar. He disappears into the role so completely that people who only knew him from teen heartthrob roles were stunned watching him transform into someone entirely different. The performance is specific, empathetic, and completely absent of vanity most young actors bring to dramatic roles. DiCaprio captured Arnie's mental state through physicality, speech patterns, and emotional responses without ever making it feel like a performance. Johnny Depp is technically the lead, but DiCaprio steals every scene through pure craft. What's Eating Gilbert Grape earned DiCaprio his first Oscar nomination and proved he had generational talent. This is the performance that established everything that came after: the willingness to transform physically, the commitment to difficult material, the ability to find humanity in characters that could easily become caricatures. 20-year-old DiCaprio did work that actors twice his age struggled to achieve. This performance is why Scorsese wanted to work with him. This is why he became one of the greatest actors of his generation. This is where the legend begins. This is the GOAT. So which level of DiCaprio movie are you rewatching tonight? And which performance do you think deserved the Oscar more than The Revenant? Comment down below, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more rankings that prove some actors transcend movie star status.